Hey guys, Jamie here. Welcome back to the channel where we take awesome out of the box. By the time you're watching this video, na-launch na ni Realme officially yung bago nilang budget device, which is the Realme C3. And it's much more affordable than we thought, guys, because in a previous video for this device, I said it was going to be around 6,500 to 7,000 pesos. But the official price tag for this phone is 5,990 pesos. Boom, less than 6K for everything you're getting in this phone. And it's time to do a gaming review to see what it can do with our favorite titles on the Google Play Store. So let's go. Of course, we can't get to the rest of the video without me reminding you guys to sub to the channel and hit that notification bell if you haven't already. Plus, a reminder that we are giving away a Realme Buds Air. Everything you need to know is in the description down below. Please follow instructions correctly, guys, para hindi kayo ma-disqualify. Also, if you're wondering if we're giving away a Realme C3, the answer is yes, but not in this video, so make sure you stay tuned. Alright, it's time to get things started, guys. And of course, if you've been watching our gaming reviews for a while now, then you know it's time for a recap of the key specs of the Realme C3, starting off with its processing package. Now, under the hood of the Realme C3 is the Mediatek G70 processor, and this is actually the first phone in the world to be equipped with this SoC. And Mediatek actually made it with gaming in mind. Now, as you remember, in a previous video for this device, or even the thumbnail, guys, I showed you the Antutu benchmark score for this phone, and it's nearly double the Realme C3's main competition, which is the Redmi 8. So 180K for a phone that's 6,000 pesos is pretty much unheard of, and it is really spectacular. Anyway, the G70 is paired with 3GB of RAM and 32GB of expandable storage. Now, I've been using this phone for about a week, and if there's anything that I would recommend, especially if you like downloading apps or downloading media onto your smartphone, is to make use of that expandable storage. Because for me, ako nakulangan ako sa 32GB, I definitely had to use that option for expandable storage. So yun lang. Aside from that, it was a pretty good experience overall. So the next thing that we're going to be talking about is the display, which measures in at 6.5 inches. It's an LTPS IPS panel, HD plus resolution, which is at 1600 by 720. Now, I really can't complain about the sharpness because at less than 6,000 pesos, guys, it's pretty much standard for the budget segment. But if I do have one complaint, it's the brightness of the screen. So medyo mahirap siyang basahin outdoors. So if you're going to be commuting a lot or you have to move around during work, this is something that might be a con for you guys. But again, not too bad. HD plus resolution, again, less than 6,000 pesos. This is stuff that we expect. And the colors are pretty great. My overall experience with the display was pretty good. But again, yun nga, yung brightness niya lang outdoors was a bit of a con. So the last key spec that I want to talk about in this recap is the battery capacity of the Realme C3, which is at 5,000 milliamp hours. Now, in my week that I spent with this phone, I averaged about a day and a half. Now, I'm a pretty heavy user. I have mobile data when I leave the house. I watch a lot of videos, play some games, and that's actually a pretty good number. Now, if you look at the battery benchmark results that we got, it's at 14 hours and 45 minutes, which again translates to about a day and a half to 2 days, depending on your usage. But definitely having that big battery capacity will help out if you want to game for hours on end. Alright, so recap done. One more step before we get to actual gameplay, and it's for me to thank the folks over at Gamebench. Now, they're not sponsoring this video in any way, but they do help make these gaming reviews possible because their app shows us the average FPS and stability to share with you guys. So again, thank you to the folks over at Gamebench. I will be leaving a link to their website down below for you guys to check out. Anyway, let's get to the games, and the first one we're testing is NBA 2K20. Alright guys, so let's start things off by showing you guys the settings, and as I mentioned in our hands-on review, I maxed everything out for NBA 2K20. So what will the numbers be for the Realme C3 on this title? Here's the gameplay. Alright, I have to remind you guys once again that this phone costs less than 6K, and for that price, the phone performed really well. Again, maxed out settings, you got an average of 40 frames per second at 89% stability. Now that's pretty much unheard of for a phone at this price bracket or in the budget segment. So it's definitely a good start for the Realme C3. Now let's move on to the next game, which is a popular title here in the Philippines, Mobile Legends. So again guys, here are the settings. Unfortunately, we can't get to ultra, we're capped at high, but everything else is turned on, including high frame rate mode. So let's get to the gameplay. Alright guys, here are the results for Mobile Legends on the Realme C3. It got an average of 60 frames per second at 100% stability. So that's a perfect score. So if you're looking for a budget phone, less than 6K, and if you're going to be playing Mobile Legends as your main game of choice, you might want to look at this phone. Anyway, let's move on to the very popular Battle Royales, starting off with Call of Duty. So unfortunately guys, for the settings, we're going to be locked at low with medium frame rates, which is not optimal. But again, I do have to remind you guys of how much this phone costs, and that's not bad at all. Anyway, let's get to the gameplay. So let's talk about numbers when it comes to Call of Duty Mobile on the Realme C3. We got an average of 30 frames per second at 99% stability. Again guys, we're locked at 30 FPS on this phone because of the settings. Now you see me dying a couple of times, and those are totally my fault. Sobrang matagal na akong hindi nakalaro ng COD Mobile, so medyo rusty na. But again, gunfights were smooth. You will notice some frame rate drops here and there when textures pop in or when you're driving around. Other than that, it was pretty good. Now let's get to the last game on the list, which is PUBG Mobile. So for the settings guys, we're capped at high frame rates at HD quality. Now I use the realistic look because that's what I prefer. And then we have anti-aliasing and shadows on. So it's time to get to the gameplay. Now the results we got for PUBG Mobile is actually very similar to COD. We got an average of 30 frames per second, but this time a stability of 100%. Now that doesn't mean that you won't experience some drop frames. You will definitely see a couple, especially if you're driving around or when textures load in, just like COD guys. But it was actually very smooth for gunfights. So if you're playing PUBG Mobile, again, for a budget phone, this performed really good. So there you go guys, those are the results of my gaming benchmarks for the Realme C3. Now some of you might be asking kung uminit ba siya since Mediatek yung SoC, and the answer is hindi masyado. It got a little bit warm pero hindi naman siya sobrang mainit. Normal naman yun since you are gaming for more than an hour, or at least I game for more than an hour, close to 2 hours actually. And I did see a comment that you could use this as an iron since Mediatek yung SoC. Exag ka dude, but I really liked your comment. So there you have it guys, the gaming review for the Realme C3. I will be doing a pros and cons video for this as well since hindi lang naman pang gaming yung phone na to. So stay tuned for that. I will be giving the Realme C3 away in that video. So again, that wraps things up. Thank you for spending a couple of minutes with me. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up, sub to the channel, and hit that notification bell if you haven't already. If you have any questions, leave them down below and I'll try to get to them as soon as I can. For all the latest tech news and gadget reviews, head to unbox.ph, plus follow us on Facebook and on Instagram. My name is Jamie. Peace, God bless, and I'll see you guys next time.